In this video, we're going to be looking at the area of a triangle, but not when we have a right angle, like base times height divided by 2, but when there's no right angle present. Okay. This topic trips students up because they try to do trigonometry and Pythagoras to try and get some sort of like triangle in here, and that's a lot of work, and sometimes it's not even easy to do, or possible. So we use area of a triangle. Area equals half AB sine C. Okay, this is a formula that's given to you in the exam, but a lot of students don't know it even exists, or they forget that it's in the exam and they try to do all sorts of strange stuff. So what does this formula actually mean? A and B are two sides of a triangle. Okay, any two sides of the triangle. I've done the dotted line here, which is the third side, which isn't involved in this, but that would be little c, which means this angle here would be capital C. Okay, that's a capital C in the formula. So all we need is two sides and the angle that's in between them. Okay, and we just substitute into this formula. So half times A times B times the sine of the angle in between. So we can just put some numbers in here. A and B, we don't actually care which way round they are. Okay, so let's make that a 6 centimeters and a 5 centimeters and 30 degrees here. Okay, so this lowercase c doesn't really have any relevance to us. It's just how we create this formula. So that C there also doesn't really matter. They will use all sorts of different letters like P, Q, R, A, B, C in different orders. Just ignore those and put your own A and B and a capital C, regardless of what the question is actually all about. And then we can just half times A times B. It doesn't matter which way around you do these. 5 times 6 or 6 times 5, and then we multiply by sine 30 degrees. Okay, you stick that all in your calculator and it gives you an answer 7.5, I think, centimeters squared. Okay, so half times 6 times 5 times sine 30, close the brackets off on your calculator just in case it gives you an error, and that should give you 7.5, I think. So this is quite a straightforward concept, and the reason it's in grade 6 and above is because it's very rare that this is a standalone question. You know, here's a triangle, can you please tell me the area? This will be embedded in another topic or part of a really hard question, and it's very subtle. Okay, so try to, when you're studying, you don't need to do hundreds of these questions. You're trying to study, if I see a triangle and it asks me to find the area and I don't see a right angle, look for this formula. Okay, that is your study. Because once you recognize this, you'll see this in questions that have got the sine rule and the cosine rule. It's in arcs and sectors. It appears in coordinate geometry. I'm not going to write all that down, but you get the picture that it appears in many, many different areas within the curriculum. And that's what makes questions and topics harder in the exam. It's not that this topic is particularly challenging, it's that it's hidden in and linked with other topics. So they're testing multiple different aspects of your understanding in one question, which might be 3 or 4 marks. So getting this might just be 1 mark, and you're doing quite a lot of work here. So as you progress through the higher levels in maths, this is how they make it harder. Okay, so all we have to do in the app is practice these bits and this studying of, when I see the area of a triangle, I do this. They may ask you to work backwards. Yes, that's a little bit more challenging, but you're still just using this formula and rearranging. So it's not a difficult thing to learn, but you will see it many times, and if you don't know it, then you lose a lot of marks.